AAPI issues be included or / integrated in all national policy discussions? And so now you were talking about earlier about the different initiatives. Could you expand on that, how AAPIs or other constituents could be part of the discussion and conversation?
I think it should be based on having a seat at the table and coming in and having conversations at various levels. So whether it is with HHS or whether it is with education or whether it is on technology and innovation, AAPIs are involved in all aspects of that. And I know just even the part that I've been working on technology, innovation, government reform, we've had many integrated into all various conversations, whether it's talking with the tech communities or whether it's talking to the civil society organizations or whether it's talking to those who are interested in the health aspects of what will be in the stimulus bill, especially on the nonprofit side. So I think in order to be integrated, we are already integrated into those pieces, and I think continuing with that, I know many of you have sent in recommendations and issues that you feel should be addressed in various agencies, and we've incorporated those. We've also posted those on the website, and I know there's been discussions around it. So I think those are happening, so continue to do that more often and keep doing it, because it's not a one-time thing, it's a continuous thing. As you hear, also be your ears and eyes and ears on the ground, because there's only so much you know. When we hear it from you, the more we can integrate that piece in. So I think it's a little bit integrated into various aspects. I don't think it's one or the other, and I certainly hope you'll continue to work with us on that.
And actually, this is the perfect opportunity to let the person who's going to be responsible for this answer the question. Ladies and gentlemen, Tina Chen is going to be the Director of Public Liaison in the White House. She is a Chinese American from Chicago. I'll keep dancing while she walks. She's a longtime friend of the president, and she's a rarity in politics because she's someone who's held the same job for, is it 22 years? 23 years. That's why. She's what Washington, D.C. so desperately needs, another lawyer. She comes from Skadden, and we're so excited to have an Asian American woman running the Office of Public Liaison. Ladies and gentlemen, Tina Chen.
Parag, I have to acknowledge, has done just an incredible job in the transition process and in keeping me informed throughout this. I really want to thank you, Parag, for all your hard work. I actually just came just to greet all of you, to introduce myself. I know many of you, and to just communicate how important your involvement is going to be with this new administration. Just to fill in a little bit of the details, as Parag mentioned, I'm moving out here from Chicago. I was a litigation partner, actually still am for another 48 hours, I think, litigation partner at Skadden. We're meeting, in fact, around the corner right now. Did litigation, but also both worked for my paying clients doing corporate defense and securities litigation, but also did a fair amount of civil rights and death penalty work in my non-paying capacity as a lawyer. My parents immigrated in 1949 from China, and I also have adopted a little girl from China. I had heard the call as a single parent, and my son was the only child of a divorced parent and becoming a little prince. I thought he needed a sibling, and really heard the call of the little girls in China, and went back to China in 1987 to adopt my little girl, who will be coming with me, and relocating to a new school. We are moving to Washington at the end of this week. Actually, it's in the process, as I just mentioned in the last event I was at. I'm flying home. I don't start fully in the office till Friday for the sole reason that I'm flying home to put the dog in the car, to drive the dog to Washington. There are many parts about this move that were dictated by the dog and what she needed in all of this. I am so pleased. I've been on the board of the Chinese American Service League in Chicago, for those of you who know Castle. Wonderful, really the oldest social service organization in Chinatown, with Bernie Wong and Esther Wong. It's been a wonderful, wonderful place for me, and also involved the Asian American Bar Association and the Asian American Institute in Chicago, all wonderful activist, coalition building organizations that have been a big part of my civic life in Chicago. And I hope to translate that now here nationally. It is such an honor and privilege for me to have this role. Part of what's so important about this office, you need to know, is that the Office of Public Liaison is really the front door to the White House, and the President-elect treats that very seriously. How do we know he treats that seriously, and how did I have the confidence of that when I agreed to take this job? Is that the person who I will report to directly is Valerie Jarrett, the Senior Advisor to the President. Valerie is, for many of you who know this, probably one of the very few closest friends to the President-elect, has been for many, many years, the President-elect and the First Lady. She is someone who I know he relies upon very closely for advice on all matters. And it says volumes, really, that he chose these functions, the Office of the Public Liaison and the Office of Intergovernmental Affairs and the newly to be created Office of Urban Affairs, to ask Valerie to take those responsibilities on, because this gives us, I think, a prominence and importance and an access to the President-elect on the issues that we care about in ways that we could not just have, and doesn't really just reveal itself on the organization chart. So it's very, very important. We want to not only just receive information, we want to communicate it out, we want to be in an active partnership and dialogue with all of you. And not just folks who have good fortune to be in Washington, but we want to actively be out there across the country, in your communities, meeting with you. And also we will have a new video web presence. Look for a new website for us in the next coming days that will be interactive, that you will be able to, and the members of your organizations, the members of your communities can interact with us as well. I see this as a tremendous, exciting opportunity on this new day that we have with this new administration to create a whole new way in which the public interacts with its government and with its president. And that's what we really hope to build with all of your assistance. It will take all of us to do this. And I also want to note that it will take all of us together to get through this early part of this administration, because as we all know, the country is in a very serious state. And we all need to put our shoulders to the wheel together collectively as a community to focus on economic recovery and across the board for all of our citizens, for everyone in all of our communities. And we will look to you to be partners with us in that. It may mean that some of the other issues that we care about we address a little bit later in the agenda, but we want to be, again, talking with you about that, hearing your views. We hope that you will hear our views and carry that out, and be available always, to answer any questions that you may have.
All right. Thank you very much, Tina. When it comes to appointments in senior positions and the administration, Tina Chan's going to be serving as Director of Public Liaison. I did not mention that Chris Liu will be serving as the White House Cabinet Secretary, which is very important for us to know because the Cabinet Secretary coordinates all the work between the White House and each of the individual 15 cabinet agencies, and then of course the sub-cabinet. Obviously, we all know that General Eric Shinseki will be serving as the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Stephen Chu will be serving as the Secretary of Energy, and we're only getting started. So I think that when it comes to appointments, you're going to be hearing very good news out of this administration, and everyone's going to be very excited. Vita, I think you had a couple more questions you wanted to raise? We're going to put Tina on the hot seat now.
Several questions that we're able to ask, but we will ask them. We will also get their contact information and put that on the website once they have their official contact information, if you don't mind. And third, thank you for your accessibility. We know your schedules. You have like 20 events per day in the next
years on the campaign. That we're not each fighting for our own piece of the pie. We're fighting to make the pie bigger for everybody. And I think it says a huge thing about the Asian American community that we've come to that understanding, that we've developed those relationships in other communities, and that we showed up at the table ready to ask with one united voice. So thank you very much.
This wraps up our portion of this panel discussion. Definitely.
The meetings that I came in, you came together as a coalition. You came having spoken to each other beforehand, and you came presenting unified ideas. That is the fulfillment of what this president-elect talked about for the last
Today, and so again, thank you for your time.